Hi Virgo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel and happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in August. This is your August 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's why I call it a bridge and a gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interests. When we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as the energy and the cards on the right as the other person's, but if you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Queen of Staves, so that's Aries energy. Two of Coins, Capricorn energy, and Illusion. So this is the equivalent of the moon in traditional tarot. Really what comes to mind seeing these three cards come up is I feel like this is primarily saying that you guys on the surface might have seemed very confident toward this person, but underneath it all you might have had like a little bit of a hot and cold dynamic where maybe, one day you're really into them, the next day you're not so sure, right? Because what always stands out to me is those the hearts and the artwork there. I can get it to focus. Yeah, you see like one's definitely red and the other one almost looks icy, type of grayed out, right? And then we see the illusion. So I feel like this is saying, you might have been concealing that. So on the surface, you were appearing confident and like, oh yeah, I'm totally into this connection. But underneath it all, you might have had some doubts. For some of you, this could even point to possibly you might have been having some financial difficulty. But either way, I feel like you were concealing any concerns that you might have had around the connection. All right. Past energy on their side, we have the High Priestess and Death. So this is actually Scorpio energy here. And usually I view this as Pisces energy, but doesn't necessarily have to be. But seeing these two cards come up here, I feel like this is saying that this is someone that's probably highly intuitive, but at the same time, I feel like they might have relied strictly on intuition there, and because they were feeling your energy where you were unsure underneath the surface, they might have actually ended the connection. But what stands out to me here is I feel like on both sides, it looks like there might have been a lack of communication, right? So you maybe not expressing that you might have had your doubts, or maybe you had some other issues that you were dealing with. And then them on their side, just assuming the worst possibly and just cutting ties with the connection. So that's what I'm seeing there. And mind you, this could have happened during the Mercury retrograde we had during Gemini season, given that this does look like miscommunication for sure. All right, present energy on your side, we have Justice, which is Libra energy, and Queen of Coins, so Capricorn energy again. Now, here, I feel like this is saying more than anything, especially given that for you guys, Libra represents your house of possession, self-worth, finances. I feel like this is saying now you do have the confidence, especially seeing the Queen of Coins as opposed to the Two of Coins, right? I feel like you do have a lot more confidence. So again, if it was around finances, maybe you're having a struggle there. Looks like that certainly is clearing up for you guys now. But even if it was just a confidence thing in general, whatever the case may be, it looks like now you might be a lot more sure of yourselves and actually coming to restore balance with the connection. All right. Present energy on their side, we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So usually the Six of Swords in the upright represents moving in calmer waters, right? Especially after a conflict. So to see this coming up in the reverse, this is Aquarius energy, by the way. I feel like this is saying that they might not quite be there yet, So I don't know. It might require, again, each position I'm looking at so far looks like the key would be communication, right? So again, if they're assuming, especially if you look at the artwork here with the Death card, we see the two people in the background there. So for example, they might have made some assumptions that maybe you were with another person or something along those lines, So it could just be saying that there's definitely a need for communication between the two of you. Now, it looks like you might be in a bit of a position to do so, but at the same time, with the body language of the Queen of Coins, I feel like she almost, every time I see that face, she has like that take it or leave it look to her, So I don't know if you guys are really going to get things off the ground, but at least it looks like there's some potential for that to happen, but it looks like it would have to come from your side. And future energy on your side, we have the Eight of Arrows. So Gemini energy here. This definitely represents a feeling of being overwhelmed, not necessarily sure how to move forward. So yeah, I mean, it could just be saying that maybe this is your confidence vacillating, right? So could even just be saying that you really haven't overcome that hot and cold dynamic, right, with the two of coins we saw in reverse. But it could just be saying you might be in the upswing right now, and then next week you might feel a little bit more unsure of yourselves again, you know. So it could just still be something you guys might be riding out. Um, all of the energy moving through your sign in August, and then obviously as we move through September too, should help with that, I'm sure. But could just be saying that that's what you guys are feeling right now. Possibly even just having a lot of career demands too, given that Gemini energy for you guys is your 10th house. So that could be part of it too, where you're like, okay, I'm not sure I have the time for my career plus a relationship, you know? All right, and future energy on their side, we have the King of Wands. So this is Leo energy here, and definitely a confident, passionate energy here. So that's the funny thing, you know. Looks like you guys have the confidence in the present. This person doesn't really seem ready to open up. Looks like you guys seem to lose your confidence again, possibly because you might address the issue with them and they might seem to shut it down. And then when you're in this energy, it seems like they're totally in. So to say this looks like a disconnect would be an understatement, but like I said, it looks like there's just really a need for communication. I don't know if that's really going to happen with you guys or not, but I can see that that seems to be the root cause of these issues. Lack of communication, that is. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Three of Coins. So to me, this says that underneath it all, you guys might have that desire to build something stable with them, you know, and it always stands out to me when I get the Three of Coins in this deck in particular, because this is a love based deck. So a lot of these cards tend to have couples in them, but at the same time, whereas in the Three of Coins, the traditional tarot is definitely a collaborative effort, we see she's alone here. So, you know, it could just be one of those things. It could just be saying that by the time you guys do make up your mind, you know, you might feel like they've left the connection altogether, but that's what I'm seeing there. All right. And, you know, I do have to say a lot of these energies we talked about are Capricorn energies. So it could just be saying that in general, you guys might move slowly when it comes to love, too. So that could be part of it. All right. And bottom of the deck on their side, interestingly enough, we have the Eight of Swords. So, and, you know, I mean, you guys have that in the future on your side. We have it at the bottom of the deck on their side. So underneath it all, they might have had their uncertainties too. So that's kind of the funny thing. I feel like both sides might be operating off a lot of assumptions and unfortunately, usually assuming the worst case scenarios. So, I mean, I don't necessarily know if there's a way to overcome that, but interestingly enough, beneath that, we have the Three of Chalices, which is definitely a much more optimistic energy. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like there's some potential there. I remember your reading for last month. I titled it Mission Impossible. I don't remember if it was the exact same dynamic as this, but it definitely seems to be a little bumpy here. And I'm sure it was last month too for me to have given it that name. So I don't know. You guys might still need to work at it. I don't know if you're going to have the patience for that, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. We'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we have the Aqua Moonlight deck, and we'll see if we get anything from that. Just gonna be looking for some jumpers, so unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck. But occasionally we get extra messages here. Okay, this doesn't want to go back in. Oh, actually, that's two cards too. And then we'll see if we get any from them to you. Almost have one there. Alright, nothing's coming up, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Alright, got one. Perfect. So, let's see. We have absence. There we go. It says, as more time passes by, I feel a deeper void without you in my life. So, interesting message there. That could be, at the very least, what you might have been feeling in the past, and that might be what brings that justice energy out of you guys, where you do come forward and try to restore balance in the connection. And we have fear. It says, I want this so badly, but I'm afraid of getting hurt, so I self-sabotage. Interesting message there too. Especially because I will say, I feel like as far as the self-sabotage vibes go, I really kind of feel that on both sides, because like I said, it looks like you guys might have been having your doubts or just maybe something else going on in your lives, but didn't communicate it, right? You presented that image of confidence on the surface, where underneath it you had a lot more going on there, right? And then on their side, like I said, it looks like they were operating off their intuition, and then they were sure of themselves, oh, it must be because they're doing this, and then they might have cut ties. So maybe you guys are more alike than you think, and maybe that's even what's causing the problem right now. But let's see on their side. All right. It says, freedom. I can't be tied down right now. I have too many interests. Interesting message there. I mean, I don't see much of anything as far as what they have going on, as far as other people involved, or just in general, quite frankly. Like I said, we see that, very secretive energy there, not really wanting to move forward here in the present. And then in the future, we do see the King of Wands. But I will say, maybe for some of you, that's what that Eight of Swords energy is pointing to, saying that they just have too much going on right now. So, interesting messages there, but hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And same situation here as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and we'll wrap up. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll actually just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. So give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll just grab one. Okay. We have Never Ending Story. So yeah, for some of you, the Mission Impossible thing for last month, this probably is a continuation of that, but there's the card, there's the artwork, and the number is 37. And for the record, I'm not laughing at you guys. I have tons of Virgo in my chart, so been there, done that, but it's just kind of funny that that card came up of all things, because it certainly feels like it. But yeah, it says self-criticism, the wounded ego, unnecessary dramas. The Oracle's message: there is a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. It is the old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, small and vulnerable and easily soothed. So, pretty positive message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. And the relationship message says, sometimes your heart enters into a contract with another that results in pain, not because of abuse or neglect, but for other, more complex reasons. Shame, fear of intimacy, and low self-esteem are the greatest challenges to the success of a relationship. Consider how valuable this knowledge is, however. Right now, you have an opportunity for important healing, but you must reflect on the stories you weave about love, connection, abandonment, rejection, and loneliness. Not only do you need to begin a new story, you need to forgive yourself for telling yourself the old ones. Have compassion for the part of you that believes all those narratives. None of them were ever true anyway. So, interesting message there, and I do have to say, what might bring that energy to the surface for some of you guys is that Leo new moon that we're going to have, which is in your 12th house. It's going to be making a square aspect with Uranus, which is in your 9th house. So it might actually shed some light to help you guys see things from a higher perspective. So, I mean, it's not going to be an easy new moon, trust me. I've been warning people about that one, but might get some insight there. So, hopefully that resonated with you guys. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in August, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.